Okay, hi everyone, this is Jazz making a shoutcast for the NSL 6 match between Earth and Warrior. We immediately see a fast power mining sub-layer from the Earth team, commanded by Darkness. And on the other side, also humans going for a fast garrison right away at the power mine, the first mine. This team is commanded by JB. By the way, we see the arsenal being placed in a way that seems to block the movement of workers up, which is a bit risky. I kind of like the shield right here. I'm surprised to see the arsenal placed here in this position. It'll force the shield to stay low, which will make it pretty summable. MarchRisker, I think he took out one worker, but not much scout information acquired. That being said, they can afford to send out one or two scouts since there are so many players here today. It's nice to see 10 years after this game is released that there are still, you know, there's a competitive level of play with numerous players playing in a single game, with about 20 players total in this game. Arcana's coming up. And Electrical. Electrical is a good choice, Flux being a very powerful weapon. That being said, its range isn't so good. Another challenge is that the shield can't come too soon, so it's a little bit more vulnerable. But often Electrical is actually strong against Zac rushes because the Flux web is just so good against Zackers. If you power mine quickly enough, you can follow Electrical with Magnetic, and you're pretty safe. Especially on a map like this where it's not easy to set up a rush. We'll see DJ is wisely going for gold, although his team already has quite a bit. Typically these games are often decided by the gold count. A summoner coming up here, a sub-layer. Let's see if the Warriors can prevent it. No. So this is quite aggressive from Earth. They're choosing not to go for a second, instead they're going to push forward. And they'll do that with Strata, I think. So that means they'll have Tempest, which is pretty strong. They'll be able to shoot across this bridge. And then it'll be challenging for Warriors to push forward, even with Flux, because the range is so much lower. What Earth wants to do probably here is deny the garrison. Since Warrior went for a quick P-mine garrison in the first mine, they only have this mine safely. So their second mine right now, if Earth can stop them from getting it, it's going to be difficult for Warrior. They won't have the the minerals for all the technology that they want. Typically you need about 2 mines to get all the good technology. And on 1 you might even be stuck in tier 2, so you wouldn't have Legionnaires. MarchRisker taking care of TrytoN. I guess he's going to move forward, although he's alone. Always good to move in squads in clan wars, although in this earlier part of the game I don't think it's so important. Here we should see the strength of Flux. Oh, got a heal coming in for March. If you noticed here, the workers were coming up, which suggests that Warrior wanted to push out and put in a garrison. If MarchRisker can remove these workers, it'll be a good advantage for Earth. Losing workers is pretty bad since they're important to the economy and also to offense when you want to try to put down a garrison. More workers coming out. I think JB really wants this northern area, he wants to gar it. I'm not convinced that this is the best choice. I think I think getting a second garrison is kind of crucial for humans. They're not rushed to win right away. They need to get their minerals. Another sub-layer coming down for Earth. And a summoner, okay, Dervun is going to try to go for this shield, which, as I noted, is a little bit more vulnerable. Ooh, there's no shield. Things are looking very bad for Warrior. Do they have mag? Pretty worried here. Looks like this guard tower is going to go down. The Tempest is also very strong at defending the summoner here, since Warrior only has electrical. They can't coil the summoner from a long distance away. Or repeater it. Things are not looking good for the Warrior team. They do have this northern garrison, but as I noted, I don't think it's going to be too useful. Their best shot is, yeah, to send out ballistas. I'm just not convinced it's going to work, since they have to shoot above, you know, up the high ground. More workers coming forward. I think things are looking grim for Warrior. Still only electrical and ballista for Warriors. At least they have relock, I suppose. Although Crashday strangely doesn't have him. It's unfortunate for Crashday. Dervun's still just sitting there. The options for Warrior are limited. We see another sub-layer, they're really pushing out. This mine still denied. It's typical for Beast to win with map control and early Tempest into Summoner. However, I'd have to say the shield was so late here. It's possible that it's possible Warrior would have had more success going for their second mine right away. This way they would have had the minerals to proceed into Magnetic and Legionnaire and so on. Ish doing a good job getting 3 kills. Flux is of course a strong weapon. It's nice to see American players represented, or Canadian I suppose, we'll say North American. Ish is doing well despite his 180 ping. One of the challenges with high ping, it's not just that it's harder to block, but that it's harder to aim. You have to lead a lot more. A low pinger with a good flux can really kill fast, and it's much more difficult to do that with high ping. Oftentimes you'd prefer melee if you have high ping. Earth is going to keep pushing out with this Tempest. I think the Earth is biding its time for Predator and Fire. They have Fire. I suppose they're going to get Sack soon if they don't already have it. Sack is up. Warrior making a good effort here with this garrison. But I don't think it's going to work out too well. It should be fairly easy to sack considering the technology that Warrior has at the moment. DJ still going for gold. Looks like Earth actually has 50,000, which is nice. Often the gold difference is actually a good indicator of who's winning in a game. Lots of misses to this worker. 3 misses. Looks like they want to sack. The Flux is doing a good job of taking care of these Stalkers though. However, Predator should be much more effective. MarchRisker having a strong melee Predator. Okay, he's going for the sack. I suppose he could also use a fire buff to clear through these units. The garrison is soon going to go down, I think. More sackers. Doesn't look like DJ timed it right. And there it goes. Earth also pushing south here, still denying the garrison. does look like warriors were trying it with these workers, but with that tier 3 technology it's just difficult to push. Warriors are in a bad spot. Here's the sack. I suppose they should go for the siege workshop. Looks like warriors didn't react in time. Garrison goes down, siege is very low. Warriors choosing to repair, but their options are limited. Repairing is a waste of time since they can't push, but pushing isn't exactly too effective either. A behemoth out with Dervun here. Doesn't do much. I don't think he'll get to the base, but he's at least denying the humans their flux ammo. Crashday in a tough spot. A north sublayer comes up here. This is a good choice. The north is relatively easy to sack and the sublayer is pretty defendable here. Ballistas won't be able to shoot into the low ground. Already the sack's coming up. I think the siege can come down pretty soon. Which would certainly seal the it would certainly end it pretty fast. When you're losing like this, sometimes your only hope is something called a sneak, which is when you would place a garrison or a sub-layer near the opponent's base so that you can quickly siege their stronghold or layer fast before the enemy notices, but once your siege workshop is down, it's just not possible anymore. Warriors do have some minerals left, but it's hard to say what they can really do with it. I think their only hope was to try to take down that sub-layer earlier. Scout it fast enough to prevent it. Or build a garrison, maybe even not next to the minerals, but a little closer. It would have given an easier avenue to defend from the Tempest here. Maybe even mine. It's possible to build a tower here, for example, and allow workers to mine. Despite the Tempest. We certainly see some strong commanding from Darkness here. He knows that sub-layers are going to lead to victory. Pushing forward, getting ground. He has minerals. At this point, I think the win is pretty much assured. We even see Shaman shield out. A strong performance from Earth in Game 1. It'll be interesting to see if Warrior can do something with Team 2. Alright, welcome back. We now have Warriors taking up Team 2, building a fast sublayer right on that first mine. Earth seems to be doing the same thing with their garrison. First mine. Tower going up to defend here. Defend the workers from scouts. We do notice that Warrior is being quite aggressive and sending 3 scouts out. This can be worth its while if they're able to kill workers, but it looks like that won't be successful with this tower. Typically sending out lots of workers is somewhat risky, as I already noted, because they don't mine when they scout. TrytoN taking out, Grantboy taking out Blobb. Hacar going for gold. Also gold coming in from DJ. In Clan Wars, getting gold is actually interesting because not only is the gold helpful, but you level up fairly quickly compared to mining. So for example, a T2 player who really wants to melee, they definitely get an advantage from getting gold instead of mining, compared to their teammates, since they get level 5 and level 7 faster for the more stamina. Okay, strata coming up here for the warriors. The same choice as Earth before, it's relatively tried and tested. Feathers is gonna, I guess, come and scout here and counter Hacar. A sub-layer going down on that south mine. It's a good choice from Warrior, they're already guaranteeing some minerals that way. I'm not sure how much I like this sub-layer positioning though. It's fairly, it's possible to use a ballista here without too much difficulty, especially when it's marked. Instead they could have tried here, for example. Another factor is that nobody's P-mining, so if you set up the sub-layer too close, these workers actually have to walk all the way around. So if you set up the sub-layer a little bit further, then the workers can just be right between the mine and the sub-layer and mine faster. So those really close sub-layers and garrisons are just better when you're actually P-mining, but not if you, not if it's just workers mining. Okay, we have a push, a kind of squad here from warriors. They're coming in south. It'll be interesting to see them try to set up a sub-layer. Looks like they are selected by the commander. However, okay, 2 humans coming down. It's not good for the squad to split up like this, since beasts benefit so much from being in a group together. They're exceptionally strong when they can target the same human. With their good movement, they can all move up to the same human at the same time. Sorry, I guess I'm getting some lag here. Okay. Flux quickly taking care of these scavengers. Flux is such a strong weapon, you have to really stay back to be able to use Tempest against it, or you'll die quickly. Crashday is here. I think he wants to move back. One problem with moving back is that if you face backwards, you actually move more slowly. Also, when you shoot Tempest, you can't leap right away after. So it's not easy to move back and shoot at the same time. In terms of technology, we see the Charm Shrine coming up. It's a good choice, although Warrior needs to push forward and have a sub-layer to make use of the summoners that it wants. Still no shield from Earth, and also no second, which is interesting. But it looks like there's a decent enough control of the south here that they'll be able to get up a garrison. I think it'll be a good choice to do that fairly soon. It's difficult to see where their shield placement is. Okay, here it is. Here's the shield. Not the best choice, as I've noted. It's better here right behind the tree. At the very least, it doesn't look like it'll be sackable. Outpost is also an interesting choice. What it actually allows the humans to do is they can enter the outpost and exit out the other side and then repair or build other things. They're all pushing south here. Here we see the advantage of Tempest range. Whoops. We see a kind of north push from warriors and a south push from Earth. When you get a lot of ground like this, it's good to build a sub-layer to cement that advantage, which is exactly what Warrior is doing, so that's a good choice, especially since they already have their second. It doesn't look like it's the best positioning on this sub-layer though. I think that JB wanted to move it far forward, maybe for behemoths later on. But right here it's pretty vulnerable to ballista fire. A better choice would have been down here. Impressive defense here from Earth. Doesn't look like there's much hope for this sub layer. Wow, good blocking from March. Oof. Oh, TrytoN wants to shoot MarchRisker here. Oh. It's always kind of, it's nerve-wracking when you are in front of a summoner like this, especially when he delays the shot. Sometimes you don't know if you want to move forward and try to swing, use the flux gun, or block. Okay, I'm happy to see that the garrison is coming up here for Earth. It's a good choice. Warrior's going to want to see that it's there and sack it as fast as possible, but already we see that the tower here is coming up, which is going to be a shield. And at that point it'll be very difficult to take care of this garrison. These minerals are going to allow Earth to get legionnaires and demo, and at that point it'll be difficult for Beast to pull off a win. Typically at that point you'd see Beast try for a draw. So even though things are kind of quiet, it's actually kind of a critical moment for Warrior. Earth is going to push forward, distracting people from the garrison up there. This shield is going to come up very quickly. See if MarchRisker can do something here. Ish is having difficulty since he's alone. Even in defense, it's good to be in a squad, especially with stalkers. Warrior should be trying to get predators pretty soon. Alright, here they are. Grantboy. It's a good play from Grantboy. Lots of units here coming up north. It's not clear what they can really do with this. I suppose take out workers or maybe try to take out the spire. Crashday is going to try to take care of the savages. The nexus is low, but I think if they... I think it should be okay at the moment. You see a ballista coming here. With Dervun. As I noted, I think this sub-layer is fairly vulnerable. Fortunately, we have beasts using Tempest. Zackorrigan and MarchRisker are rightly hopping backwards after the immobilizer. If the beast doesn't have stamina, or if the beast is immobilized, it's good to hop back and stick to your ranged weapons. You're essentially completely invulnerable if they want to go rabid or carnivorous, and you stay in ranged range. TrytoN getting the fire buff, but he's out of stamina. Stamina conservation is so hard for predators. Takes a lot of experience. This is actually one of the challenges in Clan Wars. A lot of teams tend to be, more skilled with the human team. Or alternatively, it could just be that humans are easier. On top of that, Clan Wars, there's no uphill leap, and as we see here, that makes it very challenging for the warriors to get up the hill and use melee. They should probably be sticking to Tempest or Surge. Especially against these immobilizers that Earth is carrying. Sub-layer coming up here. In terms of tech, we do have fire here. Warrior's not in a good spot here since Legionnaires are up, and this garrison is pretty much assured being shielded. Ish is tanking a lot of fire, but it's not clear what that really does. do have some workers coming from Warrior, building a sub-layer here. It's not a bad choice, but it does seem like it's somewhat vulnerable to Ballista. It would have been interesting to see it here where it's just as defendable, but also a little bit further, you know, closer to the enemy. Here the sub-layer doesn't have a great advantage over the layer itself. Nevertheless, it is a good choice to try to push north since the shield is relatively vulnerable here. This guard tower doesn't look like it's doing too much to keep it from being summonable though. So south is also a good choice to push for Warrior. Unfortunately, they're dealing with strong pressure from MarchRisker and Freaky. The humans have been getting pretty close to this sub lately. Entropy coming up, so they'll be able to heal this Nexus with a healing Spire. It does look low, it doesn't seem to block anything, so humans will be able to come up and then demo or elect this Spire. Warriors trying to capitalize on their new sub here. Ish seems to be having even higher ping than before.
Enemy spotted. Incoming enemy!
He wants to sprint up here instead of lead.
Incoming enemies!
It's not clear what they can do here besides sack, although I don't think either of them are carrying sacrifice. Humans can really just let, you know, plays get close to the base and there's not too much of a risk. Sometimes what I like to do is come around and try to get the relocks if there's nothing else to do. But in general you want to be carrying sacrifice or pushing ahead to try to get another sub-layer. So things are relatively static, but as time goes on, the favor will definitely tilt towards the humans, as it already has. I think that Earth should try to squat a little bit better. You see Blobb here shouldn't really be moving out alone, he should have waited for his teammates. While it's true that B certainly benefits from being in a squad, I think, you know, maybe even more than humans. Humans also should do it. It allows you to push out much further, do more damage to buildings. Here they can see the sub-layer, but they're not pushing. They want to make sure that this garrison gets up. At that point, a ballista should easily be able to take out the sub-layer. Good use of a mobilizer. Unfortunately, the mag buff didn't go used because of the relock. Okay, he's gonna go for... Ish was struggling there. His higher ping meant that the blocks lasted significantly longer. It's also harder to aim your melee hits. I don't think this sub-layer is going to last a long time.
Building constructed.
Our sub-layer is under attack.
There we go. Ballista coming in again from feathers. Alright. sub-layer goes down. This garrison was a good choice. It's difficult to get up here and then sack it, because the hill is so steep. At this point the humans are in a good position. They could build another garrison, they could come around here and attack from the south. Excuse me, from the east. Looks like this heal could go down. Unfortunately, he can't get a leg because then the heal spike will kill him. He didn't have any med kits. JB kills DJ. Always nice to see commanders popping out of the commanding seat. They can continue to mark thanks to the new 1.1 update. Some of the best commanders do spend a lot of time in the field when necessary. Another garrison coming up. This time from the south, which is an interesting choice. I don't think it's too expected from Warrior. They're pretty distracted by north. A lot of catapults coming in. Okay, it's scouted from HARDWELL.
Our sub-lair is under attack.
A worker manages to kill him. These catapults are really going to be devastating. They need to come in and sack them. Nope. Grantboy's going to try.
Our entropy subject has been destroyed.
Technology is falling here. Things aren't looking good for Warrior. North is still occupying them. This is a nice garrison placement. Catapults have very quick access to the attack.
Our melee.
We are attacking their garrison.
At this point, Warrior is gold starved, which is typical of a disadvantage. I mean, the disadvantage is obvious looking at tech, but gold is kind of indicative. I think Warriors are having difficulty popping out predators and defending, and it looks like the game is just about over. Well played from Earth. Ending the game fairly quickly, especially well played to Darkness, who was able to put down the sublayers and garrisons effectively, and getting minerals fairly early on. Well, that's it for Earth versus Warrior. That's 2-0 for Earth. Look forward to next week.